Well, I heard a few things during the weekend. I think the strength with Vinnie and other Indigenous artists is that they're creating work from their own situated knowledges. It's not art for art's sake. It's actually talking about their worldview in a contemporary way. Also, he needs a place to work. Robert LePage talked about that, how he just needs time and space to work, and that's across the board. Also opportunities to have to position Indigenous voices in ways in which we can be heard is important. I'll give an example. The organization I work for is an Indigenous interpretive center, but we're interpreting Indigenous culture many different ways. Part of that is contemporary, and we are the only gallery of its size and scale in the territory, probably Alberta, Regina's our enemy. No, I was kidding. In all the prairie provinces, there are no gallery spaces for Indigenous contemporary art, so we need to, that needs to change. But what I also wanted to say, I shouldn't go on too long, we only have 5 minutes each, but I just want to thank you again, and I will welcome my new friend here, my new best friend. Thank you. Tenige.
Kiani for inviting me here and us here. I just want to acknowledge and recognize the decision or the effort to include diversity into your Canada Summit. I think that it's really important to acknowledge and recognize that, because I think you might walk away feeling like maybe you weren't part of the discussion. Way longer than 150 years. I know you all know that. But to also acknowledge that we created art over 150 years. Art has always been a part of our culture and landscape. We have always incorporated art into our way of living, in our language, in our sewing, in the way that we incorporate traditional materials and create it in an environment and that is extraneous. We didn't have to make beautiful parkas and beautiful beadwork and beautiful porcupine quills the way that we'd have. And I want to acknowledge my mother for teaching me those traditional skills. My mother is a residential school survivor and a foster care survivor, and her strengths and her desires to move forward and are strengths that she's passed down to me, and that I'm very grateful for that. I also have to recognize that a lot of funding that 150 went into also cut a lot of Indigenous programming. I can name on more than one hand how many Indigenous programs were cut this year that are long-term, year-long, decade-long programming that have been impacted by this Canada 150. So I am going to encourage you as guests that are invited to the table, that you don't look at this as a one-time thing, that you don't go, we did one project for Canada 150, we celebrated diversity, and now back to regular programming. Because that funding that was taken will not go forward. It will not get reinstated. You'll have to fight for that money. So what you have to do as allies and supporters is you need to step up and fill the gap where funding has been lost. So program us into your seasons, hire us as directors, hire us as playwrights, and give us those positions where we become part of your landscape on a longer basis than just Canada 150. Thank you. And also, when you do invite us into your theaters and into your art galleries and into your centers and all of the places that you are going to invite us into, do not give us a mandate. It is also important that our voice be free to express our identity, our culture, our region, our land. And it isn't in opposition, but the truth is it's probably in total collaboration and total integration of the same vision. So it isn't always conflict, although there will be. It is sometimes really celebration and connection and enhancement of that. And so in that diversity, allowing the diversity of voice as well. And just to share, we've heard this all day today, which is breaking down the power structure. And just to reinforce that, I have to get told things more than once to get it into my head. So I'm just going to say it again, which is allow us into your power structure. Put us on your boards, put us in your behind the scenes, and make space for that. This has been really humbling. You know, today is my birthday. Today is my first Mother's Day, and I'm here with you because I really believe in this. I really believe in this thing that's called Canada, and I really believe that we can move forward as a form of convergence. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. I'd be with my family right now, and you know, a lot of us would be. So don't think that this is just that the passion is on this side as well. And I'm just really appreciative. I'm grateful, and I look forward to seeing what happens from this experience. So, masicho.